How does one explain to someone who is fortunate enough not to know that according to Stephenie Meyer's own lore that she established, Rainbow Fish is mentally older than both of her parents and pretty much the entire Cullen family? As if she wasn't scary enough, right? So the reason that we say this is not just because of the way that hybrids age, because what happens, right, and this gets asked all the time, so hybrids do have immortality the way that regular vampires do, but they age rapidly for 7 years until they reach full maturity. Now, what Stephenie meant by full maturity, we don't actually know, but we all tend to think that it means to be about 25. First of all, because of like brain development, but also I think the biggest hint to this is that Stephenie physically ages the werewolves up to 25. When the werewolf shifts for the first time, they age up to physically 25. Now, that has nothing to do with their brain. Jacob is 16 years old by the end of Breaking Dawn. He's about to turn 17, but physically he's 25. And Stephenie set up all these genetic similarities and compatibilities between the shapeshifters and hybrids, and you don't want to know about. So we assume that she'll age to about 25, but the thing is, Redfin was actually born with a fully developed brain, according to Stephenie, which would account for the way that she like talks and speaks like an adult. Was reading Tennyson like after a few weeks of being born, and of course she's gonna learn in that time, but we're not even waiting 7 years for Rutgers to develop this brain. She was born with a fully developed vampire brain. Now, Bella was turned at 18 and her dusty daddy was turned at 17. So again, according to Stephenie, their brains are frozen there. Now, how much this detail actually applies, I don't feel like it does in the way that people tend to say it does, like it makes Edward a regular 17-year-old, because he's definitely not. He acts like a 17-year-old when it's convenient, which is pretty much never. He's always several steps ahead of Bella and Jacob. He very much thinks and acts like an old man. And yeah, is he obnoxious and impulsive and obsessive? Yes. How much of that is actually because he's mentally 17, and how much of it is because he's a maniac and a jerk and a 100-year-old all-powerful immortal billionaire with unlimited resources? That's up to you to determine. But according to Stephenie, their brains are frozen there, right? So we have 18-year-old Bella, 17-year-old Edward, Jasper and Alice were turned at 19, Rosalie was turned at 18, Emmett was turned at 20, Carlisle is 23, book Carlisle is 23, and Esme is 26. So she's the only one who would even have something close to a fully developed brain, unless of course you count little Rocket League, who appears to have tore her way through the womb with a brain that was more developed than that of her parents. So if there were any future Twilight installments, that is definitely what we would be looking at according to what Stephenie wrote herself. And as you all know, I very much believe that Riverdale is more advanced than her parents, and that's not cute for them. It's like